Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, and I am coming to you today with my March TBR. This is a little bit ambitious. I probably won't get to all of these. I will be 100% honest, but I'm going to give it the old college try. This month I will be participating in the Backlist Readathon, and I will leave links for the creators down in the comments for you guys. Down in the description. But let's just go ahead and get into this. I'm going to start with the books that are for that readathon, which goes from March 9th to March 15th. And then I will talk about books that I will be attempting to read that won't have anything to do with that readathon. So the first prompt for that readathon is read the shortest book on your backlist. And for me, that is A Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. And this works out great for me because I wanted to read this month anyway. So it's super, super short, but it seems extremely captivating. I have seen it highly recommended by several people, and I can't wait to get into this one. I estimate that I'll probably read it in less than a day. The next prompt for the readathon is to read a book that intimidates you. And this one I have very mixed feelings on. I don't know how it's going to go. It's by one of my favorite authors, and it is one of his most famous titles. But for me, I have struggled with it when I have tried to read it in the past, and that is The Stand. This is the complete and uncut version, too. I've never gotten further than the 100-page mark with this book. I don't know what it is. I really, really don't. But it's always taken me out of the story, and I always end up picking something else up to give myself a break, and then I just never go back to it. But I've never made it past 100 pages. So this definitely intimidates me, not only due to the length, but because I've already had issues with reading it. But I really, really want to. It is highly revered as his best work, and, there's a new movie coming out with it, so it's like, I do want to read this. I feel like I'm not a true King fan until I've read this. Plus, it's my understanding you have to read this to read the Dark Tower series to understand it, and I really want to read that series. So it's time to read this, and this prompt with this readathon is the perfect excuse for me to finally pick this up and hopefully stick with it. I might start this a little bit before the readathon starts, simply because of the length. And especially if I'm going to have that hard a time reading it, I don't want it to affect if I get to the other books or not. So I might start this one a little bit early just to try to give myself the opportunity to read everything. The next prompt for the readathon is to read a book that was recommended to you by somebody else. And this was not recommended to me directly, but it was recommended throughout her YouTube channel. And that was from Kayla over at Books and Lala. And that is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I will also be doubling down with this for another prompt, which is to read a diverse title, and it's my understanding from her video that this deals heavily with PTSD. I could be wrong, and I apologize if I am, but this seemed like a perfect opportunity to knock out two prompts at one time. I previously read The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter and had mixed feelings on it. I thought that the writing was very good, but I got very irritated by one of the plot twists in it, and it kind of ruined the experience for me. So I've been wanting to give her another try, and Kayla could not stop raving about this, so I am thinking this is the one to jump into, and I'm very excited for it. I think this might be the first one that I read, to be 100% honest. And the next one is the next prompt is to read a backlist title that you are most excited for. And for me, that is Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I had seen this heavily talked about on BookTube and recommended, and I was already wanting to read it, and then I read The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell and fell absolutely in love with it. So now I definitely want to read this one because I hadn't heard anything about The Family Upstairs when I got it, and I loved that one so much. So I'm like, if this one's being talked about so much, is it even better than that one? So I'm really, really wanting to jump into this. It's my understanding that this is about a stalker type situation, and I'm really, really excited. I enjoyed her writing in The Family Upstairs, and I've recently found that I am enjoying thrillers that are written by British authors. Last year I discovered Ruth Ware and absolutely loved it, and then I love The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, so I'm hoping that she's going to turn out to be another one of my favorites. And the next prompt is to read a book with blue on the cover, and that is going to be Jo's Boys by Louisa May Alcott. This is the third book in the Little Women trilogy, and this also knocks out a personal resolution for me to read more classics. So this is definitely blue, and I'm going to be completing that trilogy. I absolutely loved Little Women. Little Men, not so much, and I'm interested to see where this one falls on the spectrum for me. The next one I do not have a physical copy for. I'm going to be buying it in about a week, and this is not for the Backlist Readathon, it's just for me, and that is You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I have really, really been looking forward to this one, and I have to read it before the end of the month. I loved both of their other books, and I just think it's a great way to kick off a thriller. I like this. The premise sounds amazing to me, and I definitely want to read that one. And the next two are books that I am going to read if I can get to them, because they're both thick, and I started them both in November, but I didn't get very far because of my move. But that is Bag of Bones and Lisey's Story by Stephen King. I do want to complete both of these, but the books for the readathon are going to take priority. And then, of course, my highly anticipated book, You Are Not Alone. So these I'm going to try to get to this month, but 3 really big Stephen King books in 1 month, along with everything else, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% certain if I can do that. But if I don't get to them this month, I will be getting to them next month. Okay, so that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.